Hey gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about some gourmand fragrances that are perfect for the spring and summer. These are fragrances that smell edible, they smell delicious, they smell like yummy, sweet, very fun treats, and they all sort of put me in the mind of spring and summer. And they're all in their own way very yummy yet very light. So if you're interested to see what these fragrances are, then please stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. So I am giddy because I just love a good gourmand fragrance and I'm really excited to share these with you. But before we get into these fragrances, if you're new here, on this channel I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle in my monthly vlogs. So if any of those things sound good to you, then I would love to have you here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. Not sure if I mentioned it, but these are all Arabian fragrances. So the first fragrance I have here is Kissa Delicious. This fragrance is a Paris corner fragrance, and this fragrance is a perfect springtime edible smelling scent. So this has notes of dark chocolate, orange, and cream in the opening. It has marshmallow and coconut at the mid, and then the base has a gorgeous vanilla note. The notes for this fragrance do list woody notes at the base, but I don't really detect a wood in here, and it also has a light musk. What I love about this fragrance is you get a very realistic orange note in the opening, which gives it like this sweet zestiness that just smells juicy and fresh, and then it blends together with that chocolate note. And the chocolate I get in here is more like a milky chocolate, like a semi-sweet chocolate. I don't really get a dark chocolate in here. It's more milky and just like melt in your mouth. And then there's a fruity orange note in the backdrop, and those two notes sound like they wouldn't really go together, but they are actually perfect together. And then that cream that's in the opening, I do detect the cream as well. And then what I love about this fragrance is that it opens up very light, like a light gourmand, and it stays that way throughout the wear, because in the mid of this fragrance you have a coconut, and the coconut here is not overdone. It's not like a very in-your-face coconut. It just sort of adds some meat, if you will, to the mid of this fragrance, so some meatiness, and it also adds to the creamy body and texture of this fragrance. So you do get a bit of that like fluffiness, and this fragrance just smells very delicious. It's grown on me. It was a strong like at first, but now it's growing on me, and I'm finding myself loving this fragrance because it's so light. So it's an edible smelling scent that is very light. It's a more intimate wear. It wears closer, although you could build it up to maybe like mid projection for maybe a couple of hours. This scent definitely just gives a closer wear, and I find that that is perfect for the warmer weather. So yeah, that is Kissa Delicious by Paris Corner. I think this is the perfect gourmand for like the spring and summer evenings as well. I could definitely see this being worn in the summer, but in the evenings when the sun is not blazing hot. So yes, this is the first recommendation I have for you. I think if you're looking for something like that, this is a very good option. So speaking of Kissa, the next fragrance I have here is Kissa Pink. This is also another Paris Corner creation, and this one here, it took me a while to understand it because I wasn't getting any of the notes that were listed. I was just getting something very apple and coconut heavy that was also sugary sweet. But now that this has sat for a little bit, I feel like I'm finally beginning to understand it. And this is one that is perfect for the spring and summer because it has this brightness to it. It has this sugary, sweet, very fun and youthful presence to it, which I find works perfectly in the warmer weather because this is not going to feel cloying. There's a brightness to this one. That smells so bright and fresh, but sweet and edible at the very same time. So at the opening of Kissa Pink, you get an apple and a coconut. And then at the mid of this, you get florals. There's rose, violet, jasmine in here. I think heliotrope as well. But for me, I don't really pick up on a specific floral note. It just smells like a gorgeous, soft floral. It's like an amalgamation of everything you love about rose, white florals, and powdery florals. It smells very fresh, and I think the floral florals is what's contributing to the freshness of this scent. And then at the base of this, you have sandalwood, you have cedarwood, you have cashmere, you have patchouli, vanilla, sugar. So there's a lot of notes at the base of this fragrance. But for me, this fragrance dries down to something very soft, very sugary sweet, very vanillic, and also very creamy. I think this is a very creamy fragrance as well. So although you can wear this fragrance right away, it doesn't smell bad or it doesn't have an off-putting scent, it smells ready to wear. This fragrance does need to sit to really develop and for you to really get all of those notes, because now I'm starting to pick up on those other notes. So this is a perfect fragrance for this spring and summer because it's a very creamy and sugary sweet yet fresh smelling scent. So this is Kissa Pink by Paris Corner. So this next fragrance has a very sugary sweet presence as well. In fact, sugar is in the title of this fragrance. This is a new one to my collection, and it's one that surprised me because I didn't think this was for me at first. I thought that this fragrance was just okay, and when I gave this fragrance a chance, I realized it is a very beautiful fragrance, and that is the new Kaya-lee Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. So y'all, I have talked about this fragrance recently in a new perfumes video. I will link that video here so you can hear my thoughts on this fragrance. I did give this a mini review in the video, so please check that video out. But in my opinion, this fragrance is a solid release from Kaya-lee. Now, is it one that you need to run out and get? No. Is it one that's worth trying? Yes, definitely. And that's what I did. I picked up a travel size of this before I went ahead and purchased a full bottle. Now, I do think I'm going to go through this bottle very quickly, so I may end up getting 100 ml after this one, because this fragrance I feel is like the perfect vanilla fragrance. It's perfect for layering, and it's the kind of fragrance that's really nice on its own in warmer weather. In the opening of this, you get vanilla, pear, you get a violet note, ylang ylang. There's marshmallow in here, and there's also a rum note. Now, to my nose, I don't really pick up the rum note, but I do pick up the pear, and it's like a candied pear. Now, ylang ylang is a note that I've been obsessed with, and as of right now, I cannot detect the ylang ylang. I think this is the kind of fragrance that's going to get even better with time, and it's going to mature and get deeper and sweeter and just more beautiful over time. So I'm definitely going to be reporting back as this sits and matures in my collection. At the mid of this, you get candy notes like jelly bean and bubblegum. It's reported that this has caramel and labdanum at the mid as well, and for me, at the mid is when I start to get the bubblegum note, but it's not like a super strong bubblegum. It's a very light bubblegum scent. It does not overtake or overpower this fragrance, but you can detect it at the mid of this fragrance. At the base, there is a vetiver note, and I think the combination of the vetiver at the base mixing with the traces of the pear that we found in the opening is what makes this very reminiscent of La Belle by Jean-Paul Gaultier. You get sugar, you get patchouli, you get tonka, sandalwood. So this fragrance dries down very sugary, sweet, and creamy, but I feel like the vetiver and the patchouli kind of ground the fragrance, help it to last a little bit longer, and also give it a more mature presence, because this is a playful fragrance, yet it's still very youthful. So that's why I feel like this would be perfect for the spring and summer, and this is another one that I would probably wear during the summer nights, because I feel like this might be cloying in the daytime. And as I've been spraying all of these delicious fragrances, it smells so yummy in my room right now. There's a combo that I tried yesterday. It's a combo with Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar, and I'm gonna share it with you in just a moment, because now that I'm smelling all of these yummy scents together, I definitely wanted to share this combo with you all. Yes. This is like a beautiful combination of fun and girly and just youthful and playful, yet a little grown up, a little sensual, a little sexy. And that's what I love about this fragrance. They've captured those elements so nicely. So much so that I was able to look past my initial disappointment that this didn't smell like straight up candy. Judging by the marketing, I thought this was going to smell like just straight up sugary sweet candy, and it didn't smell like that. However, what they gave us, in my opinion, is something much better. Something that's more multi-dimensional, not as straightforward in your face and linear. But this is a youthful fragrance that has a little bit of complexity, takes us on a little bit of an olfactory journey, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So this is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42 by Kaya-lee. And y'all, this is the combo I was referencing. If you have these two fragrances, do yourself a favor and put these together for the sweetest, creamiest, fluffiest, and most delectable combo. The next fragrance I have here is another very fun and playful, very lighthearted, fun-loving, just joyful and frolicsome fragrance. And this is Pistachio by Paris Corner. I am sure you're all well aware that this is a dupe for Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato. And this fragrance is a very, very close dupe. I mean, like 95% similar. The difference I find with this one is it's less creamy and it's a little bit more soapy and airy and light, which makes it perfect for the spring and summer. This fragrance is so yummy, but it is absolutely fresh smelling and clean smelling because it has this subtle soapy vibe to it. This fragrance is sweet, it's bright, it's juicy, it's creamy, it's candy-like, it's cozy. It's just the perfect combination of all of those really yummy and fun elements that are perfect for spring and summer. So at the top of this fragrance, you get a beautiful bergamot, hazelnut, cardamom, pistachio gelato. So this has like a very bright and fresh opening, but this also has a very healthy and prominent dose of pistachio. To my nose, I definitely pick up that pistachio. I feel like I pick up the pistachio more in this fragrance than the OG. And I love that pistachio note. I feel like it's very nutty, but it's met with a bright zestiness. And it also has a creamy component. There is also hazelnut and cardamom. So this has definitely a very creamy and nutty and bright, zesty and sweet opening. At the mid of this fragrance, you get tons of floral notes, but to my nose, I feel like the muguet or lily of the valley is what I pick up because this fragrance has a very water-like, very juicy and very fresh smelling presence. And so I feel like the muguet is probably the star of those middle notes, those middle florals. And then at the base, you get tons of creamy and cozy and warm and delicious smelling notes. You get cream, you get marshmallow, cotton candy, cocoa, tonka, sandalwood. There's just a ton of really warm and rich and creamy and dense and really delectable notes at the base of this fragrance. So this fragrance is perfect for those of you who love an edible smelling scent. You are a gourmand girly like myself. This is great. You do not have to put down your gourmand fragrances this spring and summer because Pistachio or the OG has you covered if that's you. Paris Corner is really out here giving us the dupes that we want, and I'm here for it. This last one, y'all, is one that I almost decluttered. The only reason I still have this in my collection is because instead of decluttering it, I gave it to my husband, and I went and reached for it the other day. I sprayed it and I realized why people love this fragrance. This fragrance is supposed to be a dupe for Nishane's Ani. And while I have never smelled Ani, the descriptions that people give about Ani is what I get from this fragrance now. And this is Lattafa's Nashit. The reason why I am showing you this fragrance, even though it is supposed to be like a heavy vanilla fragrance, is because it wears so fluffy and so light and gorgeous on the skin, and I felt like this would be the perfect springtime and summer evening gourmand because it smells very edible, very sweet, very vanillic, but it's also very soft and fluffy, and this is just perfection. This is one that you have to let sit. This has been sitting for months, maybe 5 months or so now, maybe more, I don't know, but I will link the video where I first talked about this fragrance, and a few of you told me that I have to let this one sit. However, I had no idea how long I had to let it sit. You have to let this baby sit for months before you can even experience the goodness that is in this bottle. So the notes on Fragrantica are very simplistic, and I don't feel like they really reflect what you get with this fragrance. At the top, you get Gaiac wood, and then at the mid, you get nutmeg. Then the base notes list frankincense, cashmere, and sandalwood. This fragrance does have a woody vibe, but to my nose, it's not a woody fragrance. It's not like heavy on woody notes. This also doesn't give me the spice that nutmeg is supposed to give in fragrances. Instead, this smells very fresh and effervescent when I first spray it out, and it dries down to a very soft vanillic fragrance. And I feel like the base notes really explain what I get on the dry down. The frankincense is a note that is very resinous and balsamic, and I do get a really nice richness from this fragrance. Also, there's cashmere. Cashmere gives you that soft, silky feel in fragrances. It's a synthetic accord that gives you the feel of just something soft and slightly woody, slightly musky, a soft fabric sort of feel. That's what I pick up from this as well. And then finally, this has sandalwood listed, and I do get a very creamy and vanillic dry down with this fragrance. So it opens up very fresh to my nose, and then it dries down to something very soft, creamy, and very subtly woody and resinous. This is so good, y'all. This is amazing. Although this is more of a fall and winter DNA, because this is so bright in the opening and then it dries down to something so soft and sensual, I feel like this is perfect for the warmer weather. This is like the perfect warm weather vanilla, warm weather gourmand. It smells very edible. It smells very sweet. It's like a very bright and zesty woodiness in the opening, and then it dries down to something very creamy and soft and just sensual. And this is the perfect evening scent for spring and summer. If you want to wear something that has a little bit more seriousness to it, but is still very light and very airy, this is perfect for that. I am so glad that I gave this a chance. Well, I should probably thank my husband, because this smelled to me very masculine at first, which is why I gave it to him. And because it was on his fragrance tray, I was able to pull it back out. And now I'm reacquainting myself with it. And y'all, this is so good. All right, gorgeous. If you are still here, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if it entertains you, don't forget to give it a like on your way out, as that really does help my channel grow. And also, if you love fragrance content, I make quite a bit of it on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss another video. That was a lot of fun, y'all. These are fragrances that I will definitely be reaching for. I will be combining them. So I will be back with a gourmand layering video for warmer weather. So please stay tuned for that. Let me know what some of your favorite spring and summer gourmand fragrances are in the comments. Before you click off of the video today, I wanted to encourage you with this thought. When you are running your race, remember to stay in your lane. Now, there are practical reasons why in a race, runners have to stay in their lane. If you do not stay in your lane, you can end up hurting another runner. You can end up messing up that other runner's race. But then when it comes to you, you can end up being disqualified. Now the lane that was dedicated just for you is empty, with no one like you to occupy that lane. And then what's worse is sometimes when we get into someone else's lane, it can feel like, wow, I am really getting somewhere, and we can get to the end of the race and feel like we won, only then to find out that not only did you not win the race, you are also disqualified. I say all that to say that whatever you've been gifted to do, wherever God has placed you today, or wherever you feel called to, try not to look around at what others are doing, because there is value, power, and success in staying in your lane. The lane that God has crafted just for you. I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Mwah.